Welcome to the first robotics competition and the 2016 tournament challenge, First Stronghold.
I was shocked. I've never seen a game so complicated yet so fun. Like, in past years, it's been so simple, and it's been like, oh, that's cool, we need to throw frisbees. But these days, it's, oh, cool, we need to cross 9 different defenses, we need to defend against other robots while scoring in different options. There was just so many strategy implications that was so interesting. I'm really excited.
Right after the announcement was made and what the game was, we broke into different teams. We talked mostly about strategy. Best way to get points, best way to be able to actually win the game itself. Then from there, looked at mechanisms that would support that strategy and what we picked.
We talked about different strategies that we thought would be good for like going over the obstacles, which ones we thought would be good to go over, the types of shooting we wanted to do, and then in getting ready for explaining our strategies, we came together and just thought what is the best strategy for our team.
Let's just say what we want the robot to do, and it will usually end up being let's cross as many things as we want, as many outer works as we can, and see if we can get a low shot in there.
Our strategy was at the end of it was to be a high shooter robot that was supposed to be able to go over only a few of the obstacles, but on the other side they would get a lot of points shooting for the high goal.
Our initial thoughts were to go under the low bar, similar to what other groups thought, but one of the higher priorities was to be able to get through both the A defenses, the portcullis and the cheval de frise, because we believe that most teams won't be able to do that, and it will be a great advantage to be able to do that.
Well, all the little sub-teams come up with their own strategies, and then the team leadership decides on what's the best strategy, and then they go forward.
We decided to prioritize the available ranking points over individual qualification scores. The original constraints were that you would be able to cross 3 complete categories of defenses, be able to end the match by at least challenging the tower, and then we provided to each design team with a grab bag of extra components that they needed to select at least one of, being the high shot, low shot, the climb, and a fourth category of defense.
We good?
Yep. Good stuff.
From there, we simply break off into those same design groups, and they design a robot in order to present it at our PDR, which is where we show all the designs, and then the team leadership will come back and say, okay, these are the designs we're going to go forward with.
Once we started PDR, which is preliminary design review, we focused on some more of the design.
For the preliminary design, Mech Team 1 came up with an idea of a all-purpose robot with the most utility as possible. That way we'd be able to do everything, as was our goal, to be able to do everything and become an Alliance captain.
The design for PGO, which we came up with, is sort of catapult-like spy robot. In a way, again, because we prioritized defenses first, our main goal for that robot was to get past both B and D defenses, the mainly rough terrain ones.
We had a robot that went under the low bar, went over B and D categories of the outer works, and we had a climber, or a scaler, and we had a low shooter.
Great work, and see you Friday. Good job.
So from the PDR designs, we basically met with the mentors, the captains, and the leads and sat down and said, okay, with our strategy this year, we want to build a robot and have it drivable by week 6 or 7. We decided that we didn't want to take certain risks, but some were more worth than others.
Part of the problem is that we spent so much time deciding tank treads versus wheels of any sort that when we got to the idea of a shooter, we were like, all right, we want a shooter and an intake mechanism. You guys decide what that is.
And I think that's good and bad in a couple ways, where it leaves more up to the sub-team itself to figure it out, but at the same time, doing that with the time constraint we have might be a challenge.
The thing about tank treads is that we all thought it'd be a great idea. It's pretty cool, But when you find out that it's 3 weeks back ordered, it starts to become less of a good idea. But in terms of availability, I think pneumatic wheels are a better option as of now.
Just overall, I think this is going to be a tough season. It's a very tough game with a lot of dynamic to it.
We have our CDR, which means all the captains and leads are going to come back and say, this is what our design is, these are the exact motors we're going to use, this is the exact motor mount we're going to use, this is how much we're going to weigh, this is how much we're going to take up space-wise, and we're going to order a bunch of parts. And since we can't meet this week due to midterms, study kids.
Academic performance is the priority of every student on the team, so midterms must take precedence over build season.
We don't have a choice on that matter. Our county dictates that during midterms there are no after-school activities available.
I think we'll be fine because this week, like in the past, traditionally this week has been our shipping and handling week, where we order everything we can today and tomorrow, and shipping and handling can take all week, as long as we get it back by whenever we're here next.
We went into the season hoping that we could be one of those top tier teams that makes it to district champs and prove to ourselves that we can be one of those top tier teams and consistently stay up there.